Come on, Scotty. You love these tunes, man.
I'm going to have to concur with John in the chat right there.
What's John saying?
He said, cool tunes. Where's the hairspray and booger sugar?
Oh, come on. It's not that bad, right? Surely not.
It definitely has that vibe, Kev. Definitely has that throwback 80s vibe. Just saying.
I thought it was pretty good as well, man. I was enjoying, I was digging the tunes. Digging the tunes, Scott, so I was. Yes, here we go. I think we're just about there. There we are. Yes, Scotty boy, we're back. We're here, man. I tell you, that was a bit of a disaster, right? I've been moving the computer about today, so I unplugged all of the audio. I unplugged all of the video. And you know what happens when you set it all back up again, Scott? All your default settings that you had all primed, all nice and ready to go. Touch of a button every day. Pfft, gone. Up in the air, man. Just gone.
I know the struggle, man. The struggle is real, and I've had to deal with the same stuff.
Now, for some reason, you've gone really, really loud. You're like jumping up into the reds here.
Am I?
Yeah.
That I haven't changed anything on my end, Mr. Kev.
I know, but if I turn that down there, I'm going to turn myself down to where I'm.
Okay, let me turn myself down.
Yeah, you see? Oh, well, welcome, Rachel. Yes, indeed. Check that out. It was indeed Mr. Homer Simpson. You just got a glimpse of him in the background there. I'll test the member again so you get the full effect, Rachel. Here we go. There it is. Yes, indeedy. Awesome. And unfortunately, Joe can't be here tonight. How are we sounding now, Scott?
Am I still up in the red?
Still up in the red, man. Hang on, I'll try and get it from this end. Hang on.
Okay, how about... no, that's on your end.
I've got no way of turning down what... Hang on, I could do it here. Wait a minute. Let's see. We'll get there, folks. We'll get... This was fine before we went live. And then as soon as we go live, it's typical, right? Go for it now, Scott.
Testing.
No.
Nope.
No, it's definitely no.
Maybe I'll have to just sit back, or... I don't know.
Can you turn your microphone down in Skype? No? Unless I can do it from here. Try again.
All right, testing.
That's it.
We got it?
Yeah, that looks better. I think.
Maybe.
Yep. I think so. Hopefully. I don't know. Maybe.
I turned it down on my end a little bit. Well,
and I'll turn it down a little bit here. There we go. That should be us now. Anyway, folks, sorry about that. I have no idea. It's the joys of this time Streamlabs, I think, because everything was fine up until that point, Scott. So we'll blame Streamlabs anyway. And a big shout out and a big thank you to our new member who sneaked in there, Rachel. Great to have you here on the channel. And don't forget tomorrow, folks. And I'm just about to make this live. It'll be set as a premiere, well, a live stream for tomorrow. But it's members only. Yes, we're going to have a behind-the-scenes chat. Everything that's going on with me, going on with the show. And it's going to be members only. Usually we just do members only chat. But this time we're going full members only because we've got a few things we need to talk about, take a look forward. And yeah, we'll get into some good woo as well. But Scott, tonight we've got some good stuff to get into. Because see, in recent times, I've noticed something quite disturbing. Disturbing for me, because you know how I love to get triggered by the woke brigade and the woke culture that we're living in right now. And I've had a number of people over the past couple of months who have said words to the effect of, I'm really glad I'm woke. You know, I'm glad I get it. And I have to really pause them and stop them there. And I'll get you to add to this as well, your thoughts on this. Because for me, there is an absolute stark difference, perhaps even polar opposites from being woke and being awake. Now, me personally, if we're going to put any label on ourselves out of those two, it would be awake. I would call Scott awake as well. And when I look out into the wider woketopia out there, the woke are the ones that we're kind of up against and trying to expose for their ridiculousness. You know, the ones that virtue signal over the time, over things that probably in their own private lives they're actually helping to, maybe not so much as support, but definitely just going along with it. And then you've got them wanting to cancel anything in the world, usually if it's got testicles. They get outraged at that. And it's this whole SJW group of the population that buy into the whole identity politics, the alphabet soup, LGBT kind of stuff going on. That, for me, Scott, is the difference between woke and awake. And I'll get your take on it, and then we'll start to drill into some of the definitions, some of the stories that we've pulled up here. And yes, folks, there is going to be a trigger or two along the way. And of course, we will be getting into some paranormal woo. We'll be chilling out with the chat room as well. And yeah, I'm sure a lot more will come up besides that, Scott.
Yeah, so there definitely is you have to differentiate between the two, being woke and being awake. Those are two completely different terms, and I think some people get them confused, right? Because I don't think they understand what being woke is, you know, and sometimes they refer to that as oh well, you know, I know about they use it incorrectly, I should say. And yeah, you have to totally differentiate between the two. And this woke brigade, these are the people that we are fighting against right now. It's the woke brigade that are trying to stifle free speech online, you know, going through this whole SJW crap, and it's ridiculous. Now, being awake is a totally different term. You know, being awake is you know, refers to knowing the operation that's going on. You know, knowing, you know, trying to find the truth and basically, you know, calling out all of this bullcrap, right? You know, when I hear the term, "Oh, well, I'm awake," you know, it's like I know about a certain event that happened in September 2001 was not what we were told, right? That there are shadowy groups that control this planet that most of the population don't realize exists.
That was loud.
Was it? Do I still need to turn my stuff down?
No, just you stay where you are. You're good. We're good to go right now. Don't touch anything; it might fall apart. Get the duct tape out.
So yeah, I mean, there is a difference between the two, and
big difference, like a chasm between the two.
Yes, exactly, and it's easy for people to just like use that term woke and not really realize what they're saying, you know. And so it is. I think it's important to make that that differentiation between the two and point it out. Because if you're running around going, "Hey man, I'm woke," then you're pretty much making a statement. You're grouping yourself in with a group of people that maybe you're not realizing that you're going to end up being associated with, And so just kind of got to think about the terms that you use.
When did this term really start coming into like you brought the word up earlier on, spot on the nomenclature. When did this really start to become a thing? Because for me, it was just, one minute it was just here and I was being triggered.
When I first noticed the term being used, the term woke, was when the Black Lives Matter movement started. That's when I first started noticing that term being utilized by people. I'm woke, and I didn't realize exactly what it meant at first, but I was like, I noticed that people who, because at first I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, it means somebody who's awake. You know what I mean? Somebody who's in the truth movement or understands.
One of us.
One of us, all of that information. So, that's what I thought when I first heard that. But then I noticed the people that were using that. I'm like, these people aren't awake. In fact, they're quite the opposite.
That's what got me, Scott. That's what confused me. I'm like you. When I first started to see it being used in the odd post here or there, I'm thinking, you're far from like woke, as you're putting it. And then I realized that it was a thing. It was a thing to the point where now we actually have this here, and it comes from the dictionary and it's slang words. And it says woke means being conscious of racial discrimination in society and other forms of oppression and injustice. So in the mainstream use, woke can also generally describe someone or something as being with it, Scott. Now, this almost sounds like the perfect definition. You could take that and transfer it to SJW, social justice warrior.
Same thing.
Same
saying
thing.
You're woke. Saying you're woke is declaring that you're a social justice warrior. It's the term. It's I'm woke. You should be woke too. Why aren't you woke?
Do I have to be woke? We know how woke things tend to trigger me, Scott. I'd rather just leave the wokeness to the youth of today. But isn't this like the whole way that the system is trying to create the youth now? They want to produce woke individuals at the end of the education conveyor belt, right? That they want to spit out woke people because woke people are easily led. Because I would say to be woke is to follow mainstream narratives, to be easily manipulated one way or another for political purposes, to be used by political parties for one agenda or another. And again, I don't think there's anything good can come out of being proud of being woke, Scotty boy.
No, and another thing I noticed about it, and another thing I think is going on with this is it's a hijacking of the term being awake.
Yeah, big time, big time.
So before then, you always heard of people referring to, I woke up, right? It's when you woke up from being in your sleep and you started seeing the truth about how you've been lied to by your government, by the media, that there's been these cover-ups, there's been these secret societies, there's been these shadowy players around the world that control things, control the narrative, and control all this stuff. And when you wake up from from your slumber, and you're like, you can't go back, right? But I think they took that term, of waking up or being awake or the global awakening. Remember that? That was another,
Yeah.
everyone was waking up to what was going on, and they weaponized that term and inverted it, right? So now when you say, "Oh, I'm woke," well, that means you follow the herd mentality. You're outraged by what the media tells you to be outraged by. You're drug into identity politics, right? Um, you're 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 outraged about what you're told to be outraged about. You don't even know why you're outraged, but
Calling
yet
for
you're
the free speech of others to be taken away for no reason other than they don't agree with you. You know, another
exactly.
very strong trait and almost a tell within anyone if you're trying to judge what kind of person you're dealing with here. Now, I wouldn't mistake the woke brigade. It's horrible, right? Because we should never like put labels on ourselves, Scott. We should never like put people in boxes, but it's almost as if some people are desperate for their own little box to be in with that little group that they can identify with. So you've got the woke brigade, but we've got another thing that's been talked about longer than the wokeness, and that's the NPC kind of thing. Now, I think the NPCs and the woke are two completely different things. Because for me, the NPCs, they just take a totally neutral position. They just keep their head down and carry on. It's the rat race as usual. That they won't even get involved in the whole identity politics or anything like that. They just go along to get along. Keep the head down, keep voting, keep paying the bills, keep paying taxes. Boom.
Yeah, the NPC thing is like I would say it was what we would back in the day refer to as the sheeple.
And
It's
they've
just
taken a
another.
portion of the sheeple and weaponized them into the woke.
Yes, exactly. And then the ones that haven't been weaponized but really aren't awake to anything. Notice I use that term awake. They're not awake to what's going on, but yet they're not part of the woke brigade either. It's just your average person who, like you said, just you know goes to work, wants to get through their day. They really don't care about anything going on. And
It's a generational thing, right? Because your older ones, it's harder for them to adapt to some of these newer ideas like 100 genders and things. You really, that generation, you ain't changing them. People my age, the parents just now, middle aged, your age, etc. Youngsters, children just coming up to leaving school age. Some of us are able to be manipulated back into this new woke thinking. But I would say most people my age kind of look at the world now and think, wow, things are getting a little bit crazy, right? Because of all the stuff we're talking about. So that's why I go back to the conveyor belt, the education system. That's where they're really doing the whole woke washing as opposed to brainwashing. It's the same thing.
yeah, and it's all part of this indoctrination um, agenda that's going on in the schools, right? Um, you remember G. Edward Griffin interviewed, was he a defected? He was a KGB agent who defected to the United States, right? And he discussed how that was the operation. It was going to take, what do you say, two to three generations
Yeah, you demoralize them and then
of brainwashing and demoralization in the public school system, indoctrination, and then and that's the kind of communist agenda for taking over the education system, the Marxist sort of plan. And what do you see going on now in the education system? Well, It looks very Marxist, doesn't it? A lot of very Marxist ideas and terminology, and I mean, just the term political correctness in itself is a Marxist term. You know, it's controlling of speech, it's controlling of words, it's controlling what can be said. And when you can control what can be said, you're essentially controlling what people think. You know, so it doesn't surprise me in the least bit that this is now what we're seeing come to fruition, right? With this woke culture, with these woke brigades, and
The woke brigade's coming over the hill, Scott. They're coming at us, man.
they are. And what's crazy is that the people who weaponized these individuals, they're now feeling the wrath of it, right? It's almost like they're turning around and eating the people who created it, you know, who
Well, one of those people, right? Arguably, and I dare say somebody that they all still look up to, very much so, him and his wife, husband, whatever it is, would be Barack Obama, right? And he's been talking about the woke in the news. Yes, indeed. Go figure. Not just us, Obama and Okio as well. This comes from the 1st of November. Barack Obama thinks woke kids want purity. They don't. They want progress. So the former president took black and progressive movements to task without understanding his own failure to deliver change. Ah, yeah, hope and change, baby. Remember all of that? Absolutely. But there's a couple of interesting parts in this, Scott. There's really, we don't even have to do the whole article, but there's a bit in it where, you know, talk about, I don't know what to make of his comments, but just check this out. On Tuesday in Chicago, former President Barack Obama joined actress Yara Shahidi in a conversation with activists from his Obama Foundation program. Now, over the nearly 1.5-hour Obama Foundation Summit event, the beloved political figure deployed his... Do you ever think they'll speak about Trump like that when he retires from office? The beloved political figure of Donald Trump. I don't think so. But the beloved political figure of Lord and Savior Obama, his trademark charm and humor while discussing the challenges of movement politics. So media attention has focused on a particular part of the conversation. Obama's criticism of call-out culture. Oh, imagine him calling out the ones who call people out, eh? And what he perceived as an extensively strident, active left. Now, Scott, didn't he help in no small part, like played a huge role in weaponizing and creating what he's calling an excessively strident, active left?
Yeah, he created them. This all came to fruition under his watch, under his 2 terms, is when you started to see the radicalization of the left, right? And so it is very interesting how he's calling this out when he is the one who essentially brought all this to be, you know?
Look at this here. Quote, this is the man himself, Lord and Savior speaking. Not all down on your knees for Obama. He talks. We can't completely remake society in a minute, Obama said. So we have to make some accommodations to the existing structures. All right. So we have to make some accommodations to everything that's made us what we are in the past. You know, we have to accommodate some of that old stuff. And we can't go too quickly with the plan, Scott, because obviously the long-legged Mac Daddy looking at the political kind of playing field right now, the plan ain't going so well in the current form, me think.
I think that's what he's trying to, that's what he's referring to. He's like, oh shit, you know.
We went too wacky too soon. We got too woke too soon.
Exactly. He's like, this, we went way too far, way too fast, and now we're seeing the backlash of it. And so he's trying to put his call out that they need to dial back, that they need to just step back a little bit. And
let
so
Michael step into the arena, and he will take over. So he added this idea of purity, and you're never compromised, and you're always politically woke and all that stuff. You should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids and share certain things with you. He then made a separate point about social media activism. Now, if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself. Man, you see how woke I was? I called you out. But that's not activism. That's not bringing about change. Now, that's very true. That really is very true. However, I find it just kind of just a smidgen hypocritical coming from the guy who had, again, in no small part, created this culture.
The thing is that people like Obama and those older progressive leftists, right, that that this is their end goal, like they want this stuff to come to fruition, this is their plan. It's going too fast. The plan is unfolding too quickly. It's too much of a shock to everyone, and it's backfiring. And
it's like Scott. See how they talk about boiling frogs? You don't notice it. They turned it up too quick. They went on full gas, full power. Frogs noticing.
They had the pot already boiling, and they're just frogs. Screw that, and the frog is society. The frog is your average person going, whoa, what the hell is going on here? This is crazy, what these people are doing. And so he's in a kind of a panic mode right now, and he's trying to rein everyone back, and he's trying to get the woke brigade under control, and
is his movement in danger of going woke and now going broke?
I think so. And what's very interesting about all this is because, I heard about him making these statements the other day, and, you have the woke brigade in Congress, right? You have your AOCs, you have your Elon Omars, and I think if you look it up, you'll see that Elon Omar basically like snapped back at Obama in her tweets.
Well, let's take a look at what he had to say, right? Let's see what it says. Oh, of course it would. Of course it would, Scott. You just knew it would play the video. Always an ad when you don't want one, right? Here we go.
Of purity, and you're never compromised, and you're always politically woke and all that stuff. You should get over that quickly.
Not coming through? Nah, we'll just leave it then. I'll need to play about with all the settings. What the heck's going on, Scotty? That's okay. We don't have many clips to play. In fact, we have no clips to play. So we're fine there. So we won't finish this, right? But one more. It says, on its face, these are fair remarks. During the session, both Obama and Shahidi drew from examples of the non-violent civil rights movement of the early 1960s, which required enormous faith, patience, and compromise from its activists in the face of threats to their lives and livelihood. Today, as social justice activists, material conditions have relatively improved. They will encounter people in positions of power with wealth and access, and they have to learn to work with them on some level, Obama implied. And no, tweeting about a verb probably won't bring about change. Yeah, Why? I definitely get the sense here that there's a full panic mode by the king of the woke brigade. I see him and Hillary as the king and queen of Woketopia. They truly are. They're the ones that have tried to use this, how would you call it, reinvented left? Because it's not the same as the left used to be, right? I use weaponized all the time, so I'm trying to think of a new term for it, Scott.
Yeah, and I dropped a link there in the Skype. It's from Fox, and obviously Fox is biased to the right, but it's still, I mean, it's talking about what I was just discussing, and it says that these woke brigades, they're turning on Obama for just bringing up the fact that they need to dial back, that he's kind of in panic.
To Democrats about the
No, it won't play anyway. It won't play anyway. What a dauber. Hang on,
maybe go through the article or something.
Yeah, we'll go through that. Hang on, I'll turn that down. There we go.
President Obama is issuing.
Okay, so former President Barack Obama is facing a new wave of criticism. Shut it. From the Democratic Party's left flank, after cautioning Democrats about going too radical and their policy proposals. Now, in the latest sign of a growing rift between the 44th president and the party's activist base. I wonder if they're paving a way for Michelle to come out of the shadows. Usually she's the one casting the biggest shadow in the room because she's a big woman. She might, I don't know if she's a man or a man, you know what I'm saying, Scott? So maybe, you don't know. So it goes on to say, Obama on Friday warned 2020 Democrat presidential hopefuls to pay attention to what voters actually think, claiming at a gathering of Democratic donors that the most of them don't want to tear down the system and that many Democrats just don't want to see crazy stuff. Members of his party soon turned on him using hashtag too far left. I'm hashtag too far left because I want kids to be safe in school. I'm hashtag too far left because I want to live in dignity. I'm hashtag too far left because I seek justice and equality. I'm hashtag too far left because I think healthcare and housing are human rights, tweeted former Hillary Clinton advisor Peter Dow, who started the hashtag. Oh, like a proper soy boy, I would imagine. First time I've ever came across this dude. He might not be a soy boy, but with a tweet like that, he looks like the kind of man that would start crying halfway through sex. He truly does. Know what I'm saying? So he goes on to clarify on Sunday evening that the slogan, quote, isn't primarily about Obama for me, though he was the catalyst for the tag. You just watch it while he's walking about the house, and you see that tag I got today. He's tweeting his mates and everything. Oh, what a tag. He's high on his dopamine, isn't he? He's getting high on his own dopamine, Scotty boy. He's watching those clicks and shares, man. So it quickly went viral, used by other liberal Democrats. And may I say, wouldn't it be used by the woke brigade to like be a part of the outrage at Obama for his semi-outrage at their outrage?
It's funny because they're literally engaging in what he was talking about.
Yep.
Right? You know, he made that point about jumping onto Twitter and doing your little internet activism hashtag crap. And what did they end up doing? They jumped on Twitter and started a hashtag about it. So they literally proved his point, which is quite ironic.
They won't see that, though. They won't see that. So celebrities weighed in as well. Oh, well, if that's the case, then we all best sit up and take notice. Former 2.5 Men star John Cryer, who was an absolute soy boy in the programme, claimed a far-left position is necessary to counter an existential threat to humanity. An existential threat to humanity? What the bloody hell is he talking about? I am too far left, because I believe that we cannot let greed collapse the economic, or cause the collapse of the ecosystem that supports all human life on Earth, he tweeted. Oh my goodness. Said like a man with a doomsday clock on the wall, counting down 11 years as we speak, eh?
Sounds like somebody's been watching too much Begley, dude.
Big time, man. Big time. I'm like a bit of doom and gloom, eh? What a depressing tweet. That's the kind of thing you tweet just before you go and do something nasty to yourself in the bathroom, man. I'm telling you. This is not the first time that Obama has taken a stance against the leftward drift of the party, or been on the receiving end of criticism for allegedly being too moderate. During a discussion at the Obama Foundation Summit held at the Illinois Institute of Technology in October, Obama explained that the world is more complicated than people realize. Of course it is. Truth stranger than fiction, Barack. We know that. You're Kenyan, after all. And urged politically active Americans to be practical if they want to be effective. This idea of purity and you've never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. Several Democratic presidential candidates have taken veiled shots at Obama's administration this year. Yeah, veiled shots, because they know they'll end up sleeping with the fishies. And that Michael's coming back soon. I mean, Michelle, while targeting his former vice president, Joe Biden, especially regarding healthcare and immigration. And over the summer, before he dropped out of the race, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio said that Biden should absolutely answer for the Obama administration's deportation record. Yes, indeed. So is Obama tired and embarrassed by the woke left? Or is this all just theatre to distance himself before the woke left go and do something really bad and nasty? Like AJ Anon tells me.
Maybe it's both. You know?
You see how that makes sense, though, for people who might not realise, like, what we're getting at there? Like, if they are going to do something, if something bad was to be in the offing, speculating, then you wouldn't want to have been making a speech, like, rallying them up in the weeks beforehand, right? Like, getting them going, go out there and get people. No, you'd be trying to, like, whoa, nothing to do with me.
Well, we'll look at how radicalized they've already become, right? You've had people trying to bomb ICE facilities, engaging in violence at these protests, you know, hitting people with bike locks, attacking journalists. You know, they caused what was like a brain hemorrhage or something in that one journalist.
Yeah. Nye, was it Nye?
Yeah, I think so.
I think something like that one.
Attacking Trump supporters at his rally, you know, like blindside hitting women, and so you see how you know the road that they're going down, and it's only a matter of time before one of these people decide they're going to take it to the next level. And I'm honestly surprised that it hasn't been taken to the next level. But you're going to see somebody do something really, really stupid and do something really, really bad. And yeah, I'm sure Barack don't want his name tied to any of that. And he is trying to distance himself from that more radical fringe, even though probably in the back of his mind, you know, he likes that, you know, that's what he wants. That's his goal. He wants that radical fringe.
Well, his history. I mean, he was into that, right? Is it that?
Yeah.
Saul Alinsky, Rules for Radicals. This kind of like plan to make change, cultural change.
I remember he was like he was friends with Bill Ayers, right? Bill Ayers was wasn't he like the leader or one of the main players in the Weather Underground? And they really did engage
Yep.
in domestic terrorism, basically. So he has all these connections, and all of these people he's been around are all part of that same radical fringe that he's trying to distance himself from now. But he's only doing that to try and save face and to try and put out the appearance that he's moderate when he's really not. And plus, like I said, he sees that this is backfiring.
The long-legged Mac Daddy.
And they went too far too fast, and they're facing blowback from it. And so he's trying to do damage control. It's basically what it boils down to.
What do you think the chances then of my wild speculation that Michael's going to come out of the shadows? Him, her. Hillary is the running partner.
I don't know.
She's going to play a role at some point. Maybe not this time round, but she's been groomed for something bigger, I think.
I think so. Yeah, like I said, maybe not this time around, but 2024 possibly.
Can you imagine it, dude? Oh, swing. At least we could look forward to another Obama deception from AJ and on. Maybe he would go back to telling us politics is all bollocks. That was the one good thing we can look forward to after Trump goes away.
Just, the unfortunate thing is that we still won't have our first woman president. Oops.
Oh, absolutely not. Hey, ma'am, I feel like a woman. Ma'am.
Ma'am, he feels like a woman.
But no, we've had a laugh and we've had a joke on here before about the whole jazz hands thing, right? I see people in the chat room giving it jazz hands now and again as well. But jazz hands, as much as you might think this woke brigade are doing it so everyone's looked after, nobody's getting hurt, and we're taking really sensitive care of everyone, Scott, perhaps not everyone is catered for. There's a story here. We can get into the first few kind of paragraphs of this, but this kind of highlights things because they would like to, or they do scream and shout about being inclusive, about wanting equality, about everyone being treated equally, and it's crap to be unfair to anyone, right? You get it. It's all woke tropes, if you want, the SJW kind of stuff that they virtue signal over. Well, this story here, I found this very, very interesting indeed. It comes from a website called Spiked, and it says how woke culture hurts disabled people. Oxford University students' clapping ban prohibits behaviour that some disabled people use to communicate. But wait, isn't it meant to be all-inclusive? Yet there's people feeling very left out. So when I first heard the news of the Oxford University Student Union motion to mandate the encouragement of silent clapping, isn't that an oxymoron, Scott? A silent clap? I immediately thought of my brother, Jack. So Jack has severe autism. Throughout much of his life, he has regulated his emotions through what are called STIMs, or self-stimulatory behaviours. Now, these behaviours include repeating words, spinning in circles, rubbing fabric, flapping, and clapping. Now, throughout the day, he claps frequently, especially when expressing joy. When an appropriate opportunity arises to clap, such as in a theatre or assembly hall, he claps so loudly and exuberantly that everyone around him notices. It pleases me to see my minimally verbal younger sibling communicating with happiness through this rather innocuous form of body language. Clapping is a common stim in people with neurodevelopmental disabilities, And you may have at some point seen profoundly disabled people clapping in public. Very often, such individuals are sensory seeking and they enjoy the sensation, so much so that they engage in it spontaneously. Now, this can put some on edge, but generally people are accepting of it. And yeah, I've seen that happen in numerous occasions.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it doesn't put me up or down. There's nothing awkward about that. 20 years ago, however, when I was a child, this wasn't always the case. Stigma surrounding autism was still rife. So much so that it required significant courage on my mother's part to take Jack to the shops. His clapping, the noisiest of his stims, would elicit disdainful stares and mutterings. Now few people pay attention to it. To the UK's credit, we've done a tremendous job of fighting prejudice towards those who are mentally challenged. And I must admit, I would second that. I really would second that. And my immediate thought on hearing of the clapping ban was Jack. In the midst of a crowd of student snowflakes and their appeasers, what if he were to start clapping in his characteristically vigorous manner? Would they stare at him? Perhaps denounce him? Would they go as far as to reject him from the venue along with his carer? Now, I'd like to think otherwise, that even the most narcissistic and ideologically possessed of the student activists would, if only for a moment, show compassion for someone as vulnerable and as innocent as my brother. But I doubt it, given the story of Marcus Knight, an autistic student with cerebral palsy. He is facing sexual misconduct violations for giving a fist bump to a female student and for taking a selfie with another. In a heartfelt video appeal, he says that this is his way of making friends and fitting in. Now, I could feel myself welling up listening to him. He was a young man without a trace of malice, having to defend behaviours that he has been told by others are reliable ways of ingratiating himself into peer groups. Where is the forgiveness in the case of Knight? Why should a vulnerable person have to be a victim of the excesses of the call-out culture? Now, Scott, that's a bit of a shocker, that one, right?
Wow. That is fucking ridiculous, dude.
That's pretty grim. So, this guy, Marcus Knight, an autistic student with cerebral palsy, is facing a sexual misconduct violations for giving a fist bump to a female student and for taking a selfie with another. Let's see if this has got a video.
Hello everyone, this is Marcus Knight, and I just wanted to say...
Oh, can't play it. Hang on. Dang, I need to get that fixed, dude. Wait a minute. Let me see. Hang on. If I go back here, because I'd like people to hear that. Hang on. Settings, audio. Right, wait a minute, Scotty boy. One, two. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Now see if you can hear this.
Thank you from everyone that
Hear that?
Yep.
supported me, and...
Okay, I'll put it back.
Hello everyone, this is Marcus Knight, and I just wanted to say thank you from everyone that has supported me and my family during this difficult time. The good news is the suspension has been lifted, so I can continue my education, but the Title IXs are still on my school record, so I still need your support. I'm not a bad guy, but I was just trying to make friends. The safest way I've been taught by doing is a fist bump, and asking permission for selfies. My actions were not inappropriate. I do not deserve 2 Title IXs on my record. I know I'm different, but I'm not a monster. I just wanted to make friends and fit in like everyone else. Thank you for your ongoing support. And thank you, Ashley, for helping me express myself and writing this message.
Wow.
Just wow. What can you say to that?
How is a fist bump sexual harassment?
I mean, is it the university or something that's declared this, like, says Marcus Knight. So there's the picture there. A student with autism and cerebral palsy will come face to face with the Title IX officer who found him guilty of 2 Title IX sexual misconduct violations later this month as he takes his college to court in an attempt to clear his name. Knight first came to my attention in 2018 after his attempts to make friends landed him in the school's Title IX office. Not just once, but twice. According to the lawsuit, Marcus Knight asked one female student for a first fist bump and another for a selfie. And while these may seem trivial, 2 female students at Saddleback College were so uncomfortable. Oh, so uncomfortable, Scott. So uncomfortable with what Marcus was doing. His attempts to make friends that they reported him. With one student claiming that Knight made her feel uncomfortable. Wow.
You know what I think? I think this is a case of them being embarrassed that some disabled guy came up to them and was interacting with them.
Yeah, this is more about them. Again, this is more about them. Like, I'm not a man, I'm a man. It says more about the people involved than it does about the alleged perpetrator, the criminal.
Exactly.
I mean, God forbid you try and make friends with people, Scott.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people.
Let's see what the chat room are saying. See if the chat room. What are they? I hope he clears his name. Definitely doesn't look like a boob shot, folks. Damn. That's bad, eh? That's pretty grim. But what caused 2 years of absolute heartbreak, according to Knight's mother, is how the Title IX officer handled the accusations. Now, considering Knight's disability, both students decided not to follow through with any charges. Oh, that's nice. After one female thought...
probably after they were shamed.
Yep.
Right?
Big time.
Like, if they probably would have continued with it, unless people started... actually like calling them out and saying, really you're going to try and charge this guy with sexual harassment just because he wanted to give you a fist bump and take a selfie.
It's mad, isn't it? So it says after one female thought Knight was stalking her and was uncomfortable with fist bumps, the school reported. She understands this is part of his disability, and Marcus Knight only wants to make friends and that no harm is intended. In due course, her complaint was resolved by mediation between Knight, his mother, and the school's office. Later, student Naomi, the full name's there, reported Knight for following her around campus and invading her personal space, and that he tried to put her hand on his thigh. It's unclear why Rojo felt the need to involve the Title IX office. She reportedly felt no fear from Knight and did not request disciplinary action. Wow. I hope he can clear his name, you know?
Oh, I hope so too.
Big time, dude. Big time.
He seems like a really nice guy, actually. You know.
Exactly.
Seems
And like
really
you
cool,
say,
you know?
I've got a funny feeling that these two here, they would have been expecting their mob to back them up to the hilt. But I think even the woke brigade that they're a part of probably would have said, oh, hell no. What the heck? You gone too far here. Come on, the guy's just trying to be nice. Anyone can see that. Dude.
But we're in that time now to where you can't even compliment somebody on their
No,
looks,
no.
right? Without all of a sudden, oh, you're sexually harassing. You know, that's part of the whole, remember this whole Me Too movement crap, right? Where men are now afraid to even compliment a woman, or even, you know, they're afraid to, they have to walk on eggshells because they're afraid that any little thing that they say, well, next thing you know, they're going to be accused of sexual harassment.
Scott, we
Having to
used to
go
get complaints at the work for opening the door for, this was one I had for offering to carry somebody's bags. They literally couldn't manage. They had a buggy, they had bags. I was in a car park anyway working. Do you want me to give you a hand? Or do you try to say I can't manage? Who do you work for? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, wow, eh? Try to be nice.
Remember this? Yeah, remember this little thing called chivalry?
Dude, come on. And don't get me wrong, it's not everyone, because some women are still like that. They're just like us. Just like us, you know? When you look at the media, you might think everyone's this woke way, but they're not. But
no, I know so many women that are just as disgusted with this as everyone else, that they're like, what the hell, you know? I mean, he's just a guy trying to be nice, or, or a guy, you know, trying to you know, engage in some, like, a, you know, some chivalry, some decency, you know, like, and that's what men do, is they offer to help, right? Or they make a compliment. They be nice. You know, it's called being nice. It's not, being nice doesn't mean I'm about to pull you into the bushes and have my way with you.
But it does if you're a man, Scott. That, you know, that's what we're all ready to do. We've got our clubs ready, you know.
Yeah, because remember,
I was even reading an article today about Randy Andy, right? Everyone can, it's unforgettable, that disaster of an interview that he had where he was like so blatantly lying. But I'll bring it up in a minute. The Daily Mail actually tried to make a case for the fact that only a woman could have made Andrew look as bad as he did. Because if it had been a man, there'd have been too much mansplaining and too much of this going on. And it takes a good, strong woman right at the front of the media to get that. I'll find it right now. I know people won't believe me, but no crap, dude.
So they even had to bring it into the...
Yeah, they brought it into it, man. Yep. Where is it now? No, that's not the one. Hang on. I'll find it, dude. Don't you worry. So what do you think of the one, though, about the clapping, Scott? You know, the autistic people, maybe people with neurological problems that do clap. I mean, how do the outrage mob, the jazz hand mob, deal with that? I mean, if people can't even fist bump to make friends.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, supposedly, right, that the whole SJW woke crowd are supposed to be so caring and so mindful of people's disabilities, right? But the whole fist bump situation right there tells you otherwise. And so, is it really any stretch of the imagination to think that if this guy, you know, this guy's brother, say, went to one of these events and he started clapping, that, you know, that they would like immediately jump down his throat and expel him without even looking into the fact that maybe he's autistic or something like that? That they would just fly off the handle immediately without any without even asking them or trying to figure out what's going on, because that's what they do. You know, they're triggered so instantaneously that they don't even try and work anything out in any kind of logical or reasonable manner. And so I definitely think that it would be a possibility that they would expel him from one of their events or something, without even looking into it. And yeah, that's the thing, right? You can't please everybody all of the time, right? So they've gotten to a point to where there are so many little things that they're trying to cater to at their little events and stuff. Like, good example. Remember that socialist meeting? You know, their little democratic socialist convention that they had.
Yeah. Who could
How-
forget that, dude? Who could forget it?
Yeah, and how they were. It's almost like they couldn't even talk about anything. They couldn't even get to any of their agenda because they were so busy trying to cater to everyone's little trigger, everyone's little thing, that they spent most of the time like just bitching back and forth about what triggers them. You know, you got one person, oh, like, you know, the point of privilege. You know, please stop the chatter. Please stop the chatter. I'm sensitive to noise, right?
But we're meant to be
And
having a
then-
discussion. Doesn't matter. Here's the story,
And then
Scott.
Oh.
Yeah, here it is here, look, right? Amanda Patel, Emily Mateless, showed the female of the species is far deadlier than the male when she interviewed Prince Andrew on the BBC. So the power of an iron fist and a velvet glove was shown to perfection by Newsnight's Emily Mateless in her interview with Prince Andrew. I could have interviewed Prince Andrew and he'd have been squirming like that. He's squirming because he knows he's caught after months.
Yeah,
of...
let one of us
Yeah.
interview him. You want to see
Yes, this is laughable,
Iron
Scott.
Fist.
This is the BBC that really indirectly, since it's paid for by Her Majesty's like taxes, the license fee and everything else, you know. Yeah, exactly, dude. It's laughable. So after months of torturous negotiations, he agreed to meet Mateless in his mother's formal quarters in Buckingham Palace. Bullcrap. Absolute bunkum. There's no way the BBC was pestering him for months. The BBC were phoned up. Listen, we need to do some kind of damage control thing here.
yes.
Okay, right?
Yeah,
We need to send somebody over. Send somebody really nice over.
Yeah, the quote unquote torturous negotiations was actually the coordination with the BBC on how to run damage control and
The
cover all
same
this up.
BBC who got the script ahead of time on that
Yes,
morning
and
on
write the
9/11. Yeah. Just in case people weren't sure. The same BBC that outside their headquarters, there's a statue of a man with a young boy, and the person who made the statue, yeah, he was one of that type. He would have got on well with Prince Andrew's mates over on the island. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You know what I'm saying, right? BBC, don't think we can trust them. But anyway, in recent memory, there has not been such a spectacular fall from such a high place as the prince suffered in his televised conversation that ended his formal role as a member of the royal family. And after the broadcast, only 6% of viewers believed his claims. Seemingly, they were people that never watched it. That's my crap joke. But he had no recollection of meeting the then 17-year-old Virginia Roberts, who claims she was trafficked to have sex with him by Jeffrey. Yes, indeed. But this is where it starts to get really good, Scott, right? Mateless was magnificent. Calm, cool, constrictor-like. Oh, well, that's quite apt. That's quite apt in a layer of reptiles. Yes? In her questioning. Yeah, she was sat there coiled like a snake, Scott, right? She had studied the Jungle Books, or had she studied the Jungle Books Python Ka to perfect the effortless manner in which she beguiled and trapped the Duke. Poor old Andy never stood a chance. I wonder...
Wow.
And it gets worse.
Really
No, Scott,
it
gets worse. This is where it gets really bad. I wonder how it would have turned out if her Newsnight predecessor, brutal inquisitor and owner of testicles, Jeremy Paxson, I added in the test, had taken the chair. manspreading and ego parading, too confrontational by half. He could never have prized out of the Duke what Mateless did. Oh, please. You can't use... What? Seriously? Of her interview, she wrote, he did not seem particularly nervous. No, because like we said, you're a friendly face. It's not like you were sending in some, like, rabid anti-royalist like George Galloway or anything, right? Not like a man who's about to decide his fate in an on-camera, I should say, scripted interview. Perhaps her weird, half-buttoned-up military jacket was a deliberate distraction. So she had her cha-chas showing, man. She went in there, cha-chas out, like a constrictor with cha-chas. I'm getting a bad image here, man. So it certainly distracted viewers. So, too, did the hideous, clumpy shoes that she wore. Oh, look, what a bad fashion choice. Look at her terribly clumpy shoes. I'm sure that was really on Andrew's mind. Oh, no, look at the shoes she's got on, Scott. How can I handle this? Oh. I know, but it gets worse. Was she deliberately trying to look awkward and ill-dressed, luring Andrew in? Well, a minute ago she was trying to tempt him with her cha-chas and a military jacket. Now she's ill-dressed, lulling Andrew into a false sense of security, playing on his sense of entitlement and superiority. Can I just point out that maybe Miss Mateless is just a little bitty too old for Andrew's tastes? I don't know. Oh, new member. Yes, indeed. Awesome. Thank you very, very much. Or some... There it is. Oh, we only need 6 now, Scott. So while I'm instinctively opposed to new fad for chucking out old boys for new women on TV, oh, I bet you are. I bet she's really pissed off that men are losing their jobs to be replaced by women. Mateless proved herself to be a standard bearer. Most of the important televised occasions, including the political debates, are now chaired by woman. ITV's Julia Etchingham managed effortlessly, Scott. Just like nothing. Like she could do it in her sleep when she was controlling the egos of Boris the buffoon Johnson and Jeremy the commie Corbyn in the first head-to-head debate, while allowing them to reveal themselves. What, you mean they exposed themselves? Poor old Marcus Knight is almost getting to jail for fist-bumping people. These two whack jobs are revealing themselves on national TV, Scott, and nothing's getting done. So an often flustered, interrupting Boris, not as funny and quick on his feet as we expected, a tired Jeremy the commie, failing 9 times to articulate his stand on Brexit. And it goes on, Scott. It goes on about how all these women have come to save the day, because if that had been a man interviewing Andrew, we'd have given him an easy time. We'd have let him off the hook, dude, because we're all pesky men. We've got a problem. It's between our legs, right? We all stick together. Terrible, right?
Wow. You know, yeah. If it was just one of us pesky men.
Pesky men, dude. You know, he would have got away with it. Everyone would have gone back to sleep by now if it had been me or you, Scott. We'd have been I was going to say we would have been fist bumping him, but we might have got done for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, someday I wouldn't go. We're going to shift gears now, though, folks, because I can feel myself getting triggered. The woke brigade take me close, and then looking at the inside of Buckingham Palace and Randy Andy and all that stuff got me real close. Well, I could show the other triggery one before we move on. Just show the kind of tweet and move on. Does it fit? I suppose it does with Prince Andrew. You know, does it fit though, Scott? Does it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Will it trigger people? We're not even going to talk about this next page that you're about to see.
No.
We're just going to let
all you got to do is just read it, people, and then look at the first reply from Mr. Mark Dice, and that's all you need to know.
As myself and Scott like to say, we provide, you decide. This is the world that we're living in. Well, people think about that, Scotty boy.
Not even gonna read that out, people. Just read it for yourselves.
Yeah. As Mark Dice says, do you really have to ask? I imagine we need some music on now after that, Scott. I really do. I really do. Let's see, what else have we got?
Do you think I'm cute? Do you think I'm funny?
No, there's nothing funny about that, Gunny. Absolutely nothing funny about that one, sir. But that's the state of the world that we live in, folks. And that was a survey. That was a question. But it's going on in UK schools right now. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sure that will have triggered you enough for a Saturday night into Sunday morning. If you're in the UK, you know. If you're over in America, it's coming into the evening time. Oh, it's a fiery one, that, Scott. It's a fiery one. That might be one I come back to on a later show, on the Kev Baker show or something.
Yeah, because anytime I see something like that, I'm like,
this really pisses me off.
Well, people say they can't see it. You're more entitled to go back, blow up the screen and have a look at it there. Because myself and Scott, we decided earlier before the show, we ain't going to even read that out. That's how bizarre the world's getting. And just in case you didn't get a good enough look at it, I'll take the wee bit away as well. Just in case that's putting people off up there, you know. I can't even blow it up because it won't blow up with it. I should do. But I tell you what, Scott, right? Talking of fist bumps, and we're going to get into the funnier kind of stuff now. Everyone's saying, thank goodness for that. And don't worry, folks. We've got other stuff to get into. We're going to chill in the chat as well before we go. Before Scott eats the microphone, because he might still be hungry. But we'll shove on some crap tunes in the back. Oh, we won't even hear them, will we? Can you hear them now? Excellent. So we've got some tunes on. Now, it was on about the fist pumping, Scott. But there's one person, I don't know. I think I wouldn't want to fist pump this character. But then there's a part of me thinks that maybe we should. And with a name like Popeye, is he any relative of our Popeye? Check this cat out, folks. This is another example of just why. Why did you do this? At what point did you think this would be a good idea? Check this cat out. Popeye bodybuilder has 3 pounds of dead muscle removed after injecting his biceps. Are we ready, Scott? We're ready for the big reveal. Look at that, man. Oh, no. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. No. What is happening, Scott? There it is.
that's what happens when you have too many tabs up here.
Now you've gone dead quiet.
I'll turn it up.
We'll turn that down.
No, I think I can turn my volume back up to normal.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we
so
go. We're
there's
back to
this guy.
normal.
We got there in the end. Check that out, folks. Come on, Scott. Listen, I've never been like somebody with some great physique, right? Got a good 6-pack. Quite proud of that. Still got a bit of a 6-pack to this day. 43 years old. Still a wee 6-pack. Some people say it's probably ribs. It's not. It's muscle. But that, dude, what the hell is that all about?
I've seen documentaries and videos on people that do this. They inject their muscles with this oil. It's an oil compound. And they do it to gain the appearance that they have muscle mass when they really don't. You're essentially just loading the muscle tissue with oil, and
To the point where it's going to explode.
yeah, and it's not good. It's really not good. And
Do they have some kind of dysphoria, maybe, where they look at themselves and think that looks awesome?
yeah, I akin it to a kind of image dysphoria.
Yeah.
You know, much like how women have an image dysphoria, men have an image dysphoria too. Sometimes they go overboard taking steroids
Dude.
or injecting their muscles with oil.
With
you know,
radio face like this, I could do with Botox injections to like fill the face out a bit, but then I'd end up looking like one of these people that can't move.
yeah, I've seen quite a few pictures of people that have done this, and in a way, you kind of feel sorry for them because you know that there's
Yeah.
obviously some kind of a mental something's not right up in the mind where you're going to those extremes to do something like that. But
how much does social media and modern culture play into this then, right? Because we see a lot of the younger guys into the gym and the bodybuilding and, you know, must look good. And I suppose if you've got something, you know, a disposition, some neurological, some mental kind of disorder to begin with, and the pressure on you. I mean, I don't know what it's like growing up nowadays, Scott. Peer group pressure was bad in my day. Now you've got it 24/7.
exactly, this is another example of how social media and all of that exacerbate that situation, like probably tenfold, 50-fold, you know, whatever. But you know, people who had those problems before the internet and before social media, you know, you add that on top of that, that's like, wow, because then you see how people represent themselves on social media anyways, right? That they put out this sort of facade that their life is perfect, and it's strategically placed camera shots at certain angles to, you know, look your best and add the filters and all that. And then other people see it and they go, ooh, you know, why isn't my life like that? And, you know, and if they're already suffering from these issues, these dysphoria issues, it pushes them over the edge, you know. So
I remember watching Uni one
yeah.
night, Scott. Uni was going through, like you're talking about there, it was like the Instagram thoughts and the Twitch girls and all that. And it was like looking at them as most people would recognize them, all done up, lovely posed photographs and lovely looking women, don't get me wrong. Until sometimes you've seen them without all of the A makeup and B, lots of Photoshoppery. There's some of them, Scott, that I barely recognized. Now, I'm not saying this to like be cruel to any of the people involved, anything like that. It was a show I watched on Unis, and I was shocked, Scott. It was like showing you like before or without the makeup, without the filters, and then what they appear like on screen. And these things are like supermodels, you know? You think, wow, how naturally beautiful, but no. No. And again, how many girls is that influencing to try and get that look? And they never can.
Yeah, and the source of media that used to do that before the internet was magazines, right? Those teen magazines and glamour magazines, and we all saw that. They were even using Photoshop and stuff back then to make the covers of the magazines look more glamorous, right? Remember that they would have a celebrity or a model, you know, pose for the magazine, and then they would touch it up and make them look even more, you know, than they were before. So, you know, this is just goes to, you know, where our society is and how not just women but men also are pressured to have a certain look, you know, that they feel the need to have a certain physique, you know. And yeah, I mean, this is
Russian.
wild.
He's Russian. A former soldier who earned the nickname Popeye. Where is Popeye? We need to get him on one night soon, Scott. You need to work on that. After injecting his arms with jelly to create bulging biceps, had to undergo surgery to save his life. Now, somebody in the chat room, Black Templar, this is quite a good comment, Scott, just before I forget. Stuff is called synthol. People tend to develop a kind of psychological addiction to doing it, wanting to grow bigger and bigger, looking muscle, wreaks utter havoc on your body.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's a type of oil compound called synthol, They just eject it right into the muscle, and it wreaks all kinds of havoc.
I almost
on
done
your
one of those, like, what was the name of that politician that let out a ripper on air?
Swalwell.
Yeah, I almost done a Swalwell there, dude. If you look back, folks, you'll see me kind of giving a wriggle in the chair.
But see, people, unlike Swalwell, Kev would boldly admit.
Yeah, man. Oh, if you deal it, you claim it, dude. Absolutely,
Exactly.
man. You don't let anyone steal your thunder. Why is it your own farts always smell okay? It's not for anyone to answer, but think about it. Think about it.
I don't know. I've ripped a few that even kind of put me down. So.
Yeah, but if it had been somebody else who had dealt exactly the same smell, it's a totally different thing altogether. In fact, it's quite offensive at that point.
I think it has to do with the fact that it came from your own body.
I tell you,
So
talking of smells, I'll let you in on a secret. This is like totally embarrassing to me because my mum was having a laugh at the time, and everyone will think, well, Kev, that was quite funny. So I'm in my room playing, like, I think it was Football Manager at the time, like a football management game, and me and my mate would always be out, we'd be smoking the doobers, and great time, Scott, before I went away to the army and that. And my mum she was awesome. She'd just have a good laugh. She was like one of the boys, you know. And we're sitting there one day, like, what the heck is that? The next minute, I'm like, have you farted? The boy was like, no. We started bulking and that, right? She'd only gotten let off like the most rancid ass stink bomb in the world. See the ones that are in glass, like proper ones? Well, no, Kev had a total sense of humor failure. Teenager, hormones everywhere. Dude, I just didn't see the funny side of it at all. And then that's what made it even funnier for everyone that witnessed it. Because I'm freaking out and they're all shake the neck at him. I can laugh about it now, see? And she's messaging me. She'll be sitting there going, oh, I remember that. See?
See, your mom and my mom have quite the knack for practical jokes.
Shamed myself.
I think this is just more confirmation that we have a lot of similarities going on between us.
You see, folks, not many creators on here, not many hosts would do that to themselves. Sacrifice their self-respect for the sake of, you know, being brutally honest. There it is. Lay it all on the line, Scott. Take it or leave it, you know? So this is how I can laugh at people like this. Because if I'm willing to share all of that, Scott, then surely that gives me, like, some kind of, like, credit before I become a bad person-ish. So it says here, Kirill Tereshin, 23, was warned he could die, no crap, or need to have both his arms amputated because of his artificial biceps that he had created. Surgeons at First Moscow State Medical University, back in the day of the old Soviet Union, the party would have given this one no choice. No choice at all, Scott. Just a useless eater, you. Said they removed 3 pounds of dead muscle from in between his ears and 3 litres of petroleum jelly that formed into a solid lump. Wow. Holy shimoly. Now, I want you to compare this guy, the absolute wannabe bodybuilder, right? He wants to be a hero. He thinks he's the man. It's like I'm going to be watching Deontay Wilder fighting Ortiz later for the heavyweight title of the world. These two dudes, I tell you, it could be over in a minute because one punch can finish it, right? And he's been thinking to himself, Scott, enough Vaseline in my arms, and I'm going to be up there with Deontay Wilder.
And the thing is that he's Russian. He didn't need to do this.
No.
All he had to do was put on a little weight, do a little work, put in the work, and his Russian genetics would have kicked in, and he would have been a beast. He was just trying to take the easy way out. He was just cheating, and it ended up having to get all his muscle cut out of his arm.
You see, Scott, in fact, what was that? Was that, wait a minute now, come on, load up, come on, there it is. However, maybe, just maybe, he should have taken a leaf out of this person's book. Boom. Yes, indeed. He picked the wrong house. Bodybuilder 82. That's 8 and a 2. 82 fights a break-in suspect. And you know there's going to be an advert here, don't you?
And now a story that's been leading our website all day. A man who broke into a Rochester home last night turned out to be no match for the 82-year-old grandmother who lives there. And here she is, Willie Murphy, in her own words.
The young man is in my home, broke the door. And you know what? It's kind of semi-dark, and I'm alone, and I'm old, but guess what? I'm tough. And you want
Old Willie's got it going on. Look at the arms on that. Look at the arms on that. You don't need to have arms that look like Popeye. No.
to know what happens? He picked the wrong house to break into.
Oh, yeah. Make my day, punk. Make my day.
I took that table, and I went to working on him, and guess what? The table broke.
She broke a table on the dude. That's what I'm calling. Come on. That's a hero, right? Surely. She get the freedom of whatever town she lives in, dude.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
Willie rocks.
And it had metal legs, and I'm jugging him. And when he's down, I'm jumping on him. And the telephone is still on for 911.
Holy hell!
Running in
She's doing all of this and on the phone. You see, they don't make them like this anymore, Scott. They just don't. They threw away the mold when old Willie was born, right? I'm telling
kitchen.
you.
There's a bottle of baby shampoo on the table. I grabbed the shampoo, and guess what? He's still on the ground.
She washed his hair for him. Dude!
She probably poured it in his eyes. I bet that's what she did.
She made some, like, A-team type bomb.
In his face, all of it, the whole thing. And he's trying to get up, and he's pulling. And I got the broom, and he's pulling the broom. And I'm hitting him. I'm hitting him with the broom, hitting him. And guess what? He wants to get the heck out of there, and I'm trying to help him get out of the house.
I'm absolutely knackered watching her. Dude, I want...
She got some energy, dude. She's hyped up, dude. I mean, you could tell.
She's on it. Absolutely on it, man.
But he's too heavy. I can't move him. He's dead weight. And at that time, the police arrived on the porch.
Just before you killed him, by the sounds of it. Do you know what?
Listen, WNPF powerlifting.
She can lift 2 burglars at once, dude. I'm telling you.
And the house is already open, so they come in. He's laying down already, because I had really did a number on that man. I'm serious. And you want to know something? I think he was happy when he went in the ambulance.
I was going to say, it went from her desperate for the police to turn up to the burglar desperate for the police. Hurry up, get here. Save me.
Because
County jail's better than like 2 minutes with this woman, man.
Sent him in the ambulance. Yes, I did. Yeah.
You know, if that was the UK, and I ain't even joking here, but if that was the UK, there's a good chance she'd probably end up in court, because that's how warped this country is, Scott. Burglars have more rights than the people in their actual homes, you know? Many times have you seen stories like that in the UK, people who can have guns or firearms, you know, farmers or gamekeepers, or people can get licensed, you know, and somebody breaks in, they're in the house, boom, and then you find they're in trouble. Now, I get it, there's not the same kind of laws in America, but come on, somebody's breaking into your house. I think at that point, they gave up their rights. They left their rights at the smashed window that they came in.
Every time I see one of those stories from the UK, like, I can't even wrap my mind around it. Like, it is so beyond the realm of like common sense, you know, to allow somebody or to to charge somebody for basically engaging in their natural human God-given right of self-defense absolutely blows my mind.
So what am I to, like, in that split second, Scott, think, oh, wait a minute, if I stop, this would be, at that point, I don't know if it's a burglar, an assassin. I don't know what's coming in my window. It's just somebody that shouldn't be there. So should I just, like, take a chance and say, well, I don't really want to end up going to jail, so just do what you're going to do. But I'm going to, like, murder your family, Kev. Well, I know, but if I stop you, then I'm going to jail. What?
Yeah, and these home invaders or people breaking into your house, they're not going to sit there and explain what they're there for. Right?
It's insane, dude.
If they've already made the decision to break into your house, they've made the decision that they're probably going to do some really bad stuff.
Scott, we live in a country over here where it's now offensive and the police don't show you the pictures of the knife amnesties because it might trigger people and offend them because they've just seen a knife.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the knife crime's off the charts over here. But that's because all the police are too busy dealing with fake outrage and making sure nobody's pronouns are getting offended. You see how upside down Bizarro Land truly gets, folks? You see how weird it gets? Just a little bitty, Scott, right?
All I got to say is that I feel extremely sorry for anybody that would try to invade Casa Lopez.
Oh, I would imagine that there's an arsenal waiting behind the door there, right?
Yeah, you can say that, I guess. Just a little bit.
So, in your state, Scott, how's it go? Is it open carry? Is it anything goes, or is it quite strict?
Gun laws in Kansas are actually more lax than in Texas.
Oh,
so
I just assumed Texas was like literally the Wild West.
No, Texas is actually. I mean, but Kansas, we got open carry.
If I was over there, dude, I'd be tooled up. Every room would have at least a sidearm in it. And then I'd definitely have some kind of like gun safe as well. Definite, dude. Definite. I like shooting. You know?
And and my brother likes to collect medieval weaponry. So we've got
I think
that
even pictures of that in the UK can probably get you to jail for 6 months for looking at an offensive weapon.
We got claymores. We've got
Don't get me started on the
sword.
claymore, dude. You know how big the claymore is. It doesn't make sense to a Scotsman like me. Weapon of choice, claymore. It's like exaggerating, but probably 1.5 times the size of me. Now, what size of man wields something like that made of steel? That's a big man.
Big dude.
Big dude. Have you seen people in Scotland? Typically, they look like me. You know what I'm saying? So what happened there, dude? Well, I tell you what, though, I've got a good segue to another Willie. Fancy more Willie, Scott? Can't get enough of the Willie, right? Everyone loves the Willie. So we'll go.
Everyone loves the Willie.
Everyone loves the Willie. So we'll go from fighting Willie to the only other Willie that I can think of right now. What Willie were you thinking of? We're going to Willie Nelson, obviously. Dang, dude.
Yes.
See, Scott, there was probably people thinking, what are they going to now?
Get your minds out of the gutter, people.
Yes, indeed, Willie Nelson. In fact, I think one of the times my mum came down to Glasgow, I met her and my stepdad. I could be wrong, but I think it was Willie Nelson and his family. They were like on tour, Scott. I bet that was been some shindig, man. That'd been pretty good. So yeah, it says Willie Nelson has appointed himself as the chief tester and head of quality control as his own Willie's Reservoir Marijuana company. It's no secret that Nelson is a long-time cannabis fan, so much as he went as far as entering the weed industry and created his own brand titled Willie's Reserve. The company is showing no signs of decline, with the brand's leading taste tester being the iconic singer-songwriter himself. Look at the big man.
As you do.
Guy's a legend, man. Willie Nelson is the longest outspoken celebrity champion of recreational happy smoke time, and has been open in stating that the drug has saved his life. So speaking to The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Nelson has been yet to find any bad strains of the drug, and we are more inclined to believe him when he says it has had a life-changing effect on him. Nelson says, I used to smoke 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes a day and drink whatever there was to drink. I had pneumonia 4 or 5 times, my lung collapsed, and I almost died. I said, wait a minute, I ain't getting that high off Chesterfields. So I threw out the cigarettes, rolled up 20 joints, and stuck in there. I haven't smoked a cigarette since. And the 86-year-old country music icon has been vocalising the benefits of marijuana, recreational and medicinal, for years. He's even been known to be the only person to outsmoke Snoop Dogg. Dang, dude. Amongst all...
Snoop admitted that. He said, man, Willie invited me on the bus. He said, and I had to tap out.
Damn, dude. I'd have put money on the dog. I would have.
See, Willie's got years of experience on him.
Damn. Amongst a long line of free spoken weed smokers, which is noteworthy in itself. And then they've got the interview. I think that's quite a cool story, man. Old Willie Nelson, boy. Loving it.
I like how he just appointed himself. He's like, we need a tester. We need somebody for quality control. Well,
what was that, Scott, you mentioned? What was that? You need somebody for quality control. Well, how about I might have just the job for you, sir. Check that out. Don't all go rushing off to apply at once now, folks. A company is hiring somebody to smoke weed for $3,000 a month. It's going to be the most applied for job in a long, long time, right? Every now and then, a viral dream job pops up, offering candidates a chance to travel the world for pounds, testing out private jets or something similar. There was this one where people had to house sit their way around the planet. This one where someone was hiring a barefoot bookseller in the Maldives. Or our personal favourite, an advert for someone to man a post office in Antarctica. Oh, please, I'd love it. If none of those tickled you, perhaps you would rather get paid to take large or smoke large amounts of weed. It differs from the usual format in that you won't be sent anywhere far-flung to enjoy your joints. That's okay, I can handle that. Travel's not necessary.
I'm not big on travel.
No, it's okay.
So far, so good.
Yeah, that will be done from your own home, presumably. And the company hiring specifies that the person they choose will have to live somewhere where the drug is legal. We should add that using cannabis can be risky to somebody's mental health. And it's obviously not legal in the UK because you UK people, we need to remind you of that just to take care of you.
Yeah, I like the old UK press. They had to slip that in there. They're like, green plant bad.
Basically. If you're still keen, however, the advert from AmericanMarijuana.org says, we're looking for somebody to review a wide variety of cannabis products to give our readers an honest and reliable insights on various cannabis products. The applicant will have to write about their honest reviews and opinions. Oh, you would write a review when you're stoned, wouldn't you? It could be like a big essay, dude. You could start off talking about how great the smoke is and end up with some like Tolkien saga before you. Who knows what might open up in the mind?
It's too bad I don't live in Colorado.
Indeed, dude, indeed. Not only is this legal there. Mushrooms are there. Charlie Robinson's there, man. The old glazed donut himself. I could go and hang out with the glazed donut. See? So the job says that the successful applicant needs to be physically fit and healthy, oh well, in general, to carry out cannabis product reviews regularly. Whoever gets the gig will be paid up to $3,000 monthly or $36,000 yearly, depending on their experience and capabilities. Damn, dude. So the more you can smoke, the more you earn.
I would say that my experience and capabilities are pretty adequate.
Can't say I've got any of the academic accreditation I probably require, however.
I have quite a varied resume that has built up throughout the years.
You know, Scott, if building glass bongs and things like that in my misspent youth, that could be almost qualifying as like an engineering degree I took.
That's what I'm saying.
Bits of pipe and glass and things here and bubbly bits there, and go on, pull that bit, put your finger on there, look. Oh.
like the movie Half Baked, where he's like, give me an avocado, a snorkel, and a screwdriver, and he's like, what? He's like, don't question me. I've made bongs with less.
Tell you, man. Guys I used to hang about with, it was like the scene out of the A-Team where they get locked in the barn and they always manage to build themselves some machine that goes out and wins the day. Didn't matter where we were, Scotty boy, we would find something. We'd take the bottom out of a glass bottle. And of course, being in the UK, I have to remind people that ingesting marijuana might give you mental health problems.
Yes, asterisk.
Just in case any of you forgot we lived in draconian UK, you know. In addition, you will get free cannabis products sent on a monthly basis to your address for testing. Damn, dude. The samples will include everything ranging from weed strains, vapes, and edibles to CBD oils. Tells you how to apply there. Devastated. Devastated. That's a good tip. That's a very good tip, ZX81. Never drink bong water. Oh, and anyone that has, you'll taste it right away. You never forget that taste. The same as if you're at a party and you take a drink of a beer can and somebody's put like a cigarette in it or something. That's like instant rebound. It goes down and woof. Gone.
Done that before.
Oh, been there, dude. Been there too many times, man. Too many times. It's been a blast, Scott. I've had fun, I must admit. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. I hope everyone else out there has had fun. Quite a sensible kind of weekend gig for us tonight. The opening part, anyway. Woke versus awake.
Yeah, and yes, people, you just got to make sure you distinguish the two. Don't be going around saying you're woke when you actually mean you're awake.
Yeah.
Unless you really mean you're woke. In that case, don't talk to me.
In that case, there's a good chance probably we ain't going to get on. No, I'm trying to think, do I actually know anyone that I would consider woke? One potential. It's a younger person. One potential.
I think I may know one person. Yeah, I probably know one person.
Ken down in Australia has just cleaned out his bong, his device. Good man. A big shout out to Black Templar, Marty, my good friend, ZX, Rika, Tessa, Mermaid, Ken, like I said, Bill. We also got John, Pat Studio, John Dolan. Great to see you, sir. That's worrisome. You better run. Like that name. Alexander Fields, Lady Blah Blah. Like that one. That's cool. US should ask Netherlands for a weed shop here. It's like McDonald's, a lot of different weeds. I think in the US they've got a lot of different dispensaries now, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you have
and that's
coffee shops, though, Scott? Do you have like anything like that? Like the Amsterdam style, you can go in and have a smoke and get a coffee and...
I don't know. I think it probably depends on the state and what the exact rules
If anywhere,
are.
it's Colorado, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like Colorado. And
Maybe
probably-
Humboldt County up in California, the Golden Triangle, maybe. Maybe not legal, but I bet you it's done. Know what I mean?
Oregon, probably Oregon as well. You know.
Yep.
I know where Joda lives. You know, Massachusetts, it's recreational is legal, but I
Yep.
don't know if they have like the whole.
Canada, it's all legal now, right? Canada as well. That's what I don't get either. You know, Canada, part of the Commonwealth. You see old Queenie going over there all the time. It looks like we're going to be the last country to get it.
What's insane though is that I'm honestly sitting here thinking that the UK is going to legalize it before some of these states here in the United States.
I did
do.
see this the other day. Hang on, I've not listened to it yet, but I've seen this. Talk Sport. That was the maybe marijuana. Then. This was the station where I first heard Alex Jones. Okay, it's going to be on my homepage then. Subscriptions. Let's go Talk Sport maybe. There it is. Videos. All right, it must have been an older video then. There was a video like a debate they'd had on one of, I think it was Talk Sport, maybe it wasn't, but it looked like it was quite recent. And I know with the general election coming up, part of me was thinking maybe one of them would put it in their manifesto, you know, that they would at least revisit the law. That way they can still say, no, we're not changing it, but at least give us that false hope, you know, a bit of that theatre to try and get more people out of the woodwork to go and vote.
Yeah. And actually, I think, you know, as useless as Congress has been lately with all of the impeachment circus, you know, that whole fiasco going on, I think that they're proposing, that they're trying to pass some legislation to get the ball rolling on national decriminalization, I believe.
There it is there. How that didn't come up before is beyond me. Yep, there it is. Talk Sport, and it's should cannabis be legalized 22nd of November 2019. And like I say, that's one of the bigger stations, the bigger networks, like radio stations anyway in the UK. And it's where I first heard Jonesy that led to where we are today, Scotty.
Wow. Very interesting. Oh.
Did I?
Hey.
Did I?
Did you hear it, people?
Did I manage to do it, Scott? Did I manage to outdo him? Was it a good one?
It wasn't as aggressive as Swalwell's, but at least you admit to it. We don't have to do any sort of camera analysis, and you're not going to be taking to Twitter denying the accusations.
Oh, yeah,
Hashtag
certainly
yes.
will. I certainly will, dude. It doesn't matter that you can go back and watch me sitting up and blatantly going through the motions. I'll still deny it. I'll say, no, of course it wasn't me.
Hashtag Gasgate.
Mannerous. I've just remembered. I've given you a wrench, Mannerous. I forgot about that. Yes, indeed. So we're out of time, folks. I could stay here all night with Scotty, but Scott's got things to do. I've got bed to get to. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll also be back with the members-only stream, which will be at 7 p.m. in the UK, and that's 2 p.m. on the East Coast, and 11 a.m. on the West Coast. So please join me for that. It's going to be on my community tab in about the next hour or so. And that means just go to the channel and you'll see a link for it there. But it's going to be a members only stream. And I believe moderators do get in as well. You'll need to check with some of the mods that have been doing this longer than I have. I really don't have much of a clue, but some of the mods have been doing this on other channels for a while now. Big thank you to the new subscribers that we got today. That, of course, opens up tomorrow's behind the scenes stream. Oh, that's a hard one to say. And you'll be able to come and chill with the rest of us. And, of course, myself and Scott, and hopefully Joda, will be back tomorrow night, right here, same time, same place. Same shenanigans, but paranormal tomorrow, Scott. Let's make a definite decision right now. Paranormal, Dogman, Bunyip, and anything else we come across.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to have to be steeped in woo.
Yeah, what do you think, folks? We'll wait for a second. I think we're right, though. I think it's a good call. I think the people will want that, Scott.
Oh, and tomorrow, I will be providing the music for the intro.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yes, Scott sent me music. And Joe, you got to remind me tomorrow before the stream, Scott, right? Right? Absolutely, folks. If you're looking for something to do, head on over to the Paranormal Portal, where you'll definitely get some woo on the go right now. And Queen Goddess, thank you. Tiffany, thank you. And I'll see you over at the portal. Marty, Neil, Guy, Ken, Tessa, Mannerus, Lady Blah Blah. Oh, so many of you. ZX, Esmic. Who else we got? Lothar, Stimulate, Black Templar, Trent, Neo. Getting quicker at this now, Scott. You just picked them out. John Nelson. That's worrisome. Done that. Just done that once. Rika, we got that far before. Tessa. I think we've got them. Brett Munson. We're out of here, folks. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. And don't forget, member stream. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. East Coast, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. Until then, keep looking for the woo. Keep your mind open, but not to the point where it pisses out your ear as black goo. We are out of here.